Okay, so as I was saying, I was walking outside streets of Singapore, smelling not very good, and then, voila, I met this wonderful man, Johari Kazura. He's world famous, not just here. And he's an expert in, what's the word for scentology?
I'm a perfumer.
A perfumer. And he immediately looked at me and you thought of me as like an NGO for yourself, that here's a smelly person, how do we make him a better human being? And so I'm in right here to learn from the master himself, the art of perfume making.
Yes.
I kid you not, 3 generations?
Yeah, my grandfather started a perfume shop here back in the 30s.
Back in the 30s, when you guys were teenagers, I have an older audience, his grandfather started a perfume shop. But let's try and understand all this because we don't understand the intricacies of perfume making. You buy the bottle, but there's a lot more to it. So just take us through little bit through the process of what you guys do or what you guys did from the beginning.
Well, firstly, you have to talk about perfumery. It's a craft, it's an art, it's a very old art and craft, and it's also science.
How is it an art, but not to be rude?
It's like cooking. It's cooking and art.
I don't know. I use Zomato.
So it's like an art. So there's obviously ingredients. Just like good food, you need good ingredients. And for perfumery, some of the best ingredients in the world come from everywhere, actually. And some of them come from India. And that's where I have my links.
Oh, right. That's right. Believe it or not, once again, we have a guest who has some ancestry or can trace his roots somewhat to India as well. Is it true?
Yeah, I did a DNA test and I'm about 70-something% Indian.
70 plus Indian?
Yeah, 70.
He's one of us.
Yes.
Wow.
I speak Tamil.
You speak Tamil?
I speak Tamil. I speak Tamil to my parents.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, I have lots of relatives in India.
So I've got good news for you and bad news. Good news, you're Indian.
Right.
Bad news, you're Indian. How disappointing. I'm just kidding.
Well, it sets me apart here, so this is kind of great.
So Tamil is a mother tongue now, is it?
Yeah, Tamil is my mother
And you still speak it and everything?
Yeah, I still speak it.
And now going back to the 30s when Grandpa decided to do this, so how does one start a perfume business?
Firstly, him being Indian, he had lots of suppliers for like great perfumery ingredients.
Right. I thought we would get it from Arabia.
That is not correct.
The coastal route?
Yeah. A lot of things went out from India to Arabia right now. That is quite famous over there, but that's actually the end point. But a lot of it starts...
One second, let me understand. So what you're saying is we reversed the whole thing. We started it, it went on trade towards the Middle East and beyond, and then came back to us.
Came back, yes.
You sold us our own things.
Like if you look at the French perfume industry or the European perfume industry, they are much, much younger. That's why you have names like...
How dare the French treat me like this?
Yeah, I mean, India, Atharwala is a...
Atharwala, very common.
It's a last name,
yes,
just like Smith, like a blacksmith.
Yeah.
We have Atharwala.
Well, let's not bring color into it, but I get what you're saying.
You don't have, French perfumer as a last name,
This
right?
is a real
but we have Atharwala. So
I hope we don't sound racist, but to be honest, that's amazing. So what you're saying is we think Europe leads the way, especially France, when it comes to cologne. The very word sounds so European, but it's actually us.
Yeah.
Oh,
so now
I'm feeling proud to be an Indian.
Yeah, so now what has
How dare they say smelly Indians? You never say that again. We taught you how to smell. Yeah.
So, and now if you look at the recent perfume trends, it is towards perfumes that my grandfather made, like a very old-fashioned, they're heavy on the roses, heavy on the,
Is this what you mean by the loud perfume that sometimes people who wear perfume that, the room stays like that after they've gone for hours? Is that what you're saying? As again, the subtle perfume?
No, well, it's, sometimes when people wear these loud perfumes, they are nose blind. They've been using that same perfume forever and they can't smell it anymore, so they use more and more.
Oh, it's a bit like how we are immune to the dog smell in the car, but other people come in and they say, oh God, I can't bear the smell. I'm like, what smell?
Yeah.
Because I always think it's my wife and she's not that bad. It's actually the dog smell, I got to tell you. Or it might be her, I don't know, I can't smell either.
Yeah, okay.
I can't tell the difference after a few years. Right. Let's get back.
So that's how it started. So my grandfather ended up here in the 30s and decided what
So he was somewhere in the south, is it? And then he
was in the south and then he ended up somewhere...
Plying his trade, but...
With my great-grandfather, they went to the Indonesian islands.
Oh.
And then he had a fight with his father, as all Indian sons do.
It's like a Tamil movie.
Yeah. And then
I can see Rajini breaking through now in the middle, years later, next generation.
My grandfather just jumped on a boat and came to Singapore and decided to open a perfume shop in this neighborhood in the 1930s, actually.
Wow, pretty gutsy.
So if you kind of look at that, my father was born in Singapore, but I was actually born in India.
Oh.
Yeah, and all my siblings are born here, but...
At this point, we play the song Made in India.
Yeah. you know, yeah. So I'm like in this trade, you know. So I just started looking at the art and like, you know, how to elevate this.
So grandfather comes to Singapore, starts the perfume business, but you took the name Cypher, is it?
Yeah,
That's you.
that's me.
That's we'll fast forward and go back. So
Yeah.
you went to the States, do all the fancy education thing.
Yes, I did.
And perhaps you were going to do something else at that point.
Yeah. And then I came back to Singapore because it was a bad economic situation. And then I was
You
helping
came back
out.
to help the family.
And no, I came back because I couldn't get a job.
Oh, this is the 2007-8 period?
2000. No, this is earlier. This is like 2000 period.
Okay.
And then I came back, and then I was helping out the family business. And then after a while, I was like, you know, there's many things here that I enjoy, and I wanted this to be like a proof of concept to, you know, get this idea of attar and perfumes, and you know, where I see so many other brands is running away with the concept. Like, we've been doing this for so long. Let's you know, get deeper into it.
So how important is marketing? You know, you have the big names that people like me who have no idea about.
Yeah.
A lot of people watching as well don't have any sophisticated knowledge when it comes to perfume. So we know a Hugo Boss,
Right.
Or you know, please name names. I don't know. Help me, Arami or whatever.
Yeah.
So there are a few names we know, but
Right.
but it's because of marketing, right?
It is. It's because of marketing, and some of them they have really good products. Like, you know, some of the really famous perfumes. If you look at Chanel No. 5, it's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, it came out in the 1920s or 30s, and still
It still smells good.
It still smells good. It
Unlike
was,
my uncle, yeah. Also 1920 born. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, it is a lot of marketing, you know, and that's what you know. But if you kind of think of restaurants, you know, there are so many good small restaurants that we have everywhere, but people know the big brand name ones, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm sure in your town, you have
True,
a local
true.
restaurant
So-
that,
so
you know, doesn't have the
literally
stars.
on one dish.
Yeah.
Is famous.
It's famous,
Like
you
there's a Jafar Bhai biryani, which
Yes.
is world famous.
Yeah.
They don't need advertising.
Yeah, they don't need advertising.
But then how do they go? Well, they do go beyond because of the internet and all. Everybody picks it up.
Yeah, and then, you know, some people get discovered, and, you know, and sometimes you still have your neighborhood small, you know, interesting, high quality, you know, biryani, for example, that nobody else knows. And I think we are one like that.
So who's to judge which perfume, or is that a wrong thought? Because
It
it's
is,
subjective.
you know, it's all subjective. A perfume is like, it's completely subjective. What smells good, you know? It's like asking what is a masculine scent, what is a feminine scent.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking. Sorry, go on.
And think of colors, like, oh, you know, after Barbie, pink, you know.
Yeah, too
you
much.
know,
Yeah.
It used to be a feminine color, a masculine color, and it goes back and forth, and the same thing with scents. So what is good? There's a few ways we can ask it. One is, do you like it? If you like it, it's the best perfume. You know, it doesn't matter
But
how much it costs.
Thinking back, when certain women wear certain perfumes or fragrances, you get a sense of female energy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It seems to be like a natural thing because you're not trained to smell this, that, or the other. You just immediately, instinctively, your instinct tells you this is female perfume.
Right.
Am I right to say that? Or
But it's also quite cultural. Like, if you kind of look at jasmine, let's look at jasmine. Jasmine's a great one. Jasmine for Indians is like flower. It's like the smell of the house, it's the smell of your garden. You know, it's the smell of a perfume.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Chinese population, jasmine is a tea. It's something that you drink. It's not something you want to smell like, you know?
Save money, we just bought a cup of tea and started applying it on our
Yeah,
relatives.
so, you know, so when my mother was trying jasmine tea for the first time, it's like, why do I want to drink perfume?
But does
right.
it smell similar?
Yeah, it smells exactly the
What
same.
are you saying? Don't be silly.
You know, go and get really good jasmine tea out there, and you're like, oh, this smells.
And if I put some jasmine cologne or whatever.
Yeah, it's the same kind of a smell. So, but our associations with it are very different. You know, for one culture, it's something you drink. For the other culture, it's a nice smell for the house, for example. Right.
Wow, I wonder if a Chinese guy marries an Indian girl, what would happen? What if they drank the perfume and sprayed the chai all over? What a family they would be. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the more important question of the process of perfume making, because we're trying to discover here this lost art, not lost art, but hidden art would be a better way of putting it.
Right.
It's very much an art, as you said, and I tried to correct you, and you've pointed me out to be wrong as usual. How does, without giving away trade secrets, how do you actually, is it brew a perfume? What is the phrase? I don't even know. Create?
I would say that this create, you know, you're blending a perfume, you're formulating a perfume, you know. Sometimes I just like to think of cooking, actually. That's the closest that I would think that perfume making comes to.
Right. So do you yourself are the creator?
Yeah. So at the back over there, later on, we'll have a look. You'll see all the ingredients that I use. I have maybe 300 ingredients that I use to make perfumes. It's like going into a kitchen and you opening up all the spice jars, right? There's a lot, you know.
And then, again, obviously it's a complicated process, but vaguely, How does one go from start to finish?
I normally start with an inspiration. Maybe it's a type of ingredient, it's a type of smell, or it's
it's a hot, in the background. Yeah.
yeah. And then you just go from there and just pick out ingredients, see whether you like it or not. Yeah.
One thing sets you off.
Yeah. One thing, an idea or an ingredient will set me off. Maybe I'm making a scent for you. You tell me about your lifestyle and when you're going to use it, for example.
I like to be alone for long periods of time, wear no clothes, and make all kinds of sounds. What would work?
What do you want to smell like? And what is the best smell for you at that point?
I've always felt I smell like a rose.
A smell like a rose.
Yeah.
A lonely rose?
Well, yeah, sometimes you're lonely. That comes with the territory. But you're still a rose, as
And
Shakespeare
then,
says.
and then, so we're trying to set the mood. So what is it you're drinking? What are you wearing? Are you wearing anything?
I'm not a clothes person. I resent clothes. I can't wait to take them off.
All right.
But because of society pressure and aesthetics, I am not allowed.
So let's just say, the perfume brief you're giving me is you want something that's comfortable, that smells you, freedom.
If you want, I can tell you in non-tangible terms. Like, I like freedom and
you want
no attachments, nothing on the wrist, nothing on the neck.
And you don't have any, I don't know, you're not bound by any rules.
No.
So it's rose, and would you say it's a very masculine energy as well?
Not in a way where you have to say you're masculine, because I think that's a really ridiculously masculine.
Yeah.
That's not masculine, that's stupid.
Yeah, sure.
But just naturally masculine, if it's there, then that's fine. If it's not, it's not.
Sometimes it's like, perfumes are also like, they only change what is underlying. If you have masculine energy,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So the energy is there and it just enhances it.
It just enhances it. So, some people would come to me and say, hey, how do you make me, I want to smell great. I want to attract whatever. I'm like, no, there is no covering up your natural smell. Use soap first.
He's 70% Indian, guys. Don't worry.
Use soap, and then because our attraction to people based on scents, we think it's the perfume, but it's actually what is underneath, the musk. What do you smell like, and it's just like clothing. There's only so much you can hide. Right?
And now that you brought up these dark secrets, let me just say that body odor is something that's caused by digestive issues or nervous system issues and things like that.
And it's just, sometimes it's basic hygiene,
But I'm just warning people that, as you said, the perfume isn't the solution.
Yeah, isn't the
solution.
Like
a Band-Aid for a
You
huge
can't
cut.
just put more and more on just to...
Silvery, our producer, where are you? He does this all the time, just all the time. And he even puts the perfume on. Why do they put perfumes where deodorants go? Are you supposed to put a perfume under the armpit?
No.
This guy does it.
No. Well, yeah, it's not like you're just supposed to, it's more like a covering.
I
right?
thought this goes all over the face and perhaps the hands.
Yeah, the hands, anywhere like that's got a lot of
If you're getting
surface
lucky
area.
tonight, perhaps a little lower. But what the hell are you doing? Just putting it under the armpits.
Or like the neck. The neck is a
I would
great
think
place.
when we were young, we were told that after shaving, you put the stuff on and it sort of goes in better.
And one of the reasons why you put them there is because it smells natural. You should not be smelling like a perfume. You should smell, oh my God, Cyrus, you smell great. That's something you want to hear, not like your perfume smells great, right?
What would you have as a personified Johari perfume? Because I see you as a very high energy, but very like this sort of good energy guy. So what would,
I go through a lot. I go through a lot of ingredients. I mean, we don't just wear one thing all the time, right?
Yeah.
We have different styles, different clothes, different occasions. So I have all of that. I have my happy scent, sad scent, going out scent, going to sleep scent.
You put scent when you sleep?
Yeah, so I can smell it in the morning to see perfume should last a long time.
If you sleep alone and no one else is there, do you still put scent on your?
I do it to test what it smells like after I've
That's
been
a
rolling
professional
around.
choice.
Yeah, it's a professional choice.
Would you do it actually otherwise?
Yes, there are some things that help me sleep better. Like if you go to a nice hotel, the clean hotel bed sheets.
I would know that our budgets are really bad.
Okay. Well, I suggest like going to a nice hotel and smelling the bed sheets, that clean linen, that clean cotton, lavender.
I know what you're saying. There's a smell to the upholstery and all, which is not a smell. It's almost like a fragrance. Yeah.
It's almost like a fragrance. And if you kind of look at the idea of like drinking warm milk before you sleep, yes, the warm milk puts you to sleep, but that creamy lactone note, that creaminess also is very relaxing to the brain.
You're telling me that I'm getting a milky perfume now?
Oh, no, it can be any kind of perfume.
I
do everything.
you to thinking that.
Yeah.
Your senses become what you're having sort of thing.
Yeah, so like some of this, like when I say milky scent, it's not going to be obviously milky.
Yeah, I know.
Just like the hints of it, it will be there. And this
But like you said, every culture is different. There might be a culture where milk smell is a very beautiful perfume.
I think it is for most, like if you smell babies, that warm baby smell.
Okay, now we're going on very dangerous territory.
you know.
Here we go, two adults going, give me your baby, man.
Give you a bit, but it is
nice.
that is a warm, creamy musk smell. This is what the natural state of human should smell like.
Really?
Yeah, like a baby.
Because it's new.
It's new. It's like, its sweat is nice. It's been drinking milk.
Wow.
Right? And this
real
is a
milk.
very real milk.
Undiluted.
Yeah, and this is a
unadulterated.
human smell. This is our base level smell.
If Johari had to check out my entire crew of 7-8 people here and smell them, would you be able to write down 4 lines on each one?
I can give you all perfumes.
Oh, wow.
Another thing about perfumes is we only talk about like good smells, right?
Yeah.
But in perfumery on my desk, I have so many things that smell bad immediately. They will smell like spoilt milk, because.
But why?
Because that's how the humans work. This is how the human brain works. Your brain kind of, look at it. Remember the last time you walked past a bad smell? You're like, that smells bad. And then you're like,
Yeah, you do that. Yeah,
yes, this is completely instinct.
Why do we do that?
Because it's your brain, you're human. Your brain just wakes up when there's a bad smell. Of course, it should not continue forever. But, your brain wakes up, your attention goes there. And then you
Why
think
do we
about
double check? You're absolutely right. Don't we think about it?
because
Go like,
this is instinct. This is what your brain wants to do. This is how your brain keeps
are
you
we
safe.
drawn to the bad smell?
Yeah, no, we get attention. I wouldn't say, yes, we are drawn so we can avoid it. We will get drawn to it so we can avoid it.
It's like how you want to watch a horror film, even though you don't want to kill people or something.
Yeah.
There's some sort of...
And there's that excitement. So, but of course, you don't leave it be 100% bad all the time. So you have hints of it hidden between all of these nice smells. You'll have a little bit of a funky smell.
So in Cypher, are we looking at the whole gamut of smells?
Yeah, so I will go back to, if you look at the baby, the clean, innocent smell, if you look at 14-year-old boys after gym class, that smell?
It's scaring me.
Yeah, after football, that smell.
I know what you're saying.
It's also
That's
very
that testosterone because
musky human smell.
Yeah.
So that's a range of smells that we have, So if you take the baby and you make them grow up, that's what you'll get.
Yeah.
So another way of getting your baby smell.
It's also a graph which is going downwards.
Yes, yeah.
So we're going with pure smell, pure beautiful smell, less.
And like bad
old,
smell.
Old man.
Yeah.
Not to be rude, we're all getting old, but naturally it does not smell good.
Yeah.
Why do I know this?
I know, but but like with good hygiene, drinking lots of water.
Yeah.
Good
deeds, good thoughts.
Good deeds, good thoughts, and if you're a relatively healthy person, you should smell okay.
And Cypher perfumes.
Yeah. And that is the nice thing on top of the basis of who you are.
Trust me, it makes a difference. I thought this would be one of the most boring podcasts when I first read it, no disrespect. I was thinking because perfume, what's so interesting about perfume? And then as you talk, I can't, we could go on for hours.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Perfume is just like, the front end, but if you look at how often you use your sense of smell in very important decisions. Can I eat this? Can I drink this? Do I like this person? How many times have you made those decisions based on how they smell?
What you're saying, do you think it's the first thing that hits us? Like exactly what you said.
Yeah.
A person walks in for a business meeting, whatever, and you get a fragrance and you put off slightly.
Yeah.
Before you even see them correctly or the personality comes out.
It's all very subconscious because this was our original chemical sensor of the world.
Wow.
Right? Like, even before we had eyes and everything, we're like, can I eat this, drink this?
Animals always smell each other first.
Yeah. And like going back, you know whether your family has slept on your pillow.
Yeah.
Or romantic partner has slept on your pillow just from smell.
Or somebody else's romantic partner slept on your
right.
pillow.
And this is all completely instinctual. It all works on a subconscious level.
But we judge.
And like perfumery is on the top end of this, but this process is always happening.
So you actually get turned off or turned on humanity, literally, with the sense of smell. I don't mean it in a sexual way, more than that. More like you actually like, let's hang out or let's not hang out. Or more importantly, people get judged so quickly, openly by the rest. If the smell is very, what's the right word, loud.
Loud.
There's so many people who don't know that they need perfume to help them.
I mean, I think it's like grooming. It's, sure, you want to make your life easier, If I wasn't, if you weren't dressed in nicely, I would still be your friend, but it would be a bit harder, right? And it's the same thing. Maybe you don't have the best
subconscious
perfume.
judgment.
Maybe I'll find out you're a really nice guy at the end of it all.
I was a serial murderer till I was 13, after which I changed tracks completely. I'm saving the tiger on weekends, doing everything I can. Yeah, but let's get back before I lose my track, which is I want to discuss the perfumes that we have here. I know we're going to go and look at them towards the end of this episode, but the names are fascinating, the ones that I can read.
Yeah.
There's one called By Any Other Name, so I presume it's Rose, like the Shakespeare
Yes.
quote.
Yes. A rose by any
You
other
may
name
not
would
know
smell as
yeah,
sweet.
Shakespeare, but meh, Shakespeare ka bapu. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. So I have names here
But
that.
I like that. I like the fact that you have to think a little bit. What is that name?
Yeah.
It's a rose, but it's not really a rose. You just say by any other name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's Trojan Lotus. Famously, Trojan used to be a brand of, so we don't have babies.
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's one of the things I wanted to just drop there. Yeah. Is that got to do with sexual?
No,
sort of
no.
subliminal
Like
message?
sometimes it's just like the music I'm listening to, or like a
Wow.
a
It's like
fun,
streams of consciousness.
Yeah.
It just.
and then a character in a book, or sometimes it's based around an ingredient, right? And I just go all the way.
Yeah, because I can't see a pattern. And these are the ones I can read. There's 2,000 more, ladies and gentlemen, all over the world. But all his titles, all his. But the good thing from an advertising point of view is one is intrigued immediately because there's no normal, rhinestone or something like that. Everything is like either a phrase or a word which just seems out of sync for a second. Like what is Jerusha? I didn't quite get that.
Jerusha is an old biblical name.
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very old biblical name, and then I try and remember these words and names, and
Once again, you don't worry about the connect. You just like the connect which comes mindlessly, seamlessly to you.
Yeah.
So a joker like me comes in and wants to understand what is the meaning behind this, because we all want conscious meaning to everything. What would you say?
Meaning is whatever you
Overrated.
give to it. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a rose by any other name smells as sweet.
Brother,
that.
I'm so wrong about saying, is it an art? Because you're completely an artist. You're like, just, I'll name it whatever I want to. You can go screw yourself. That's it.
Well, that also helps when, you're working for a small business, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating. So now, what would be the highest selling? Is this a fair question to ask? What kind of scent is the highest selling scent? What works best if you look at it from a business point of view?
I think this is where what we offer, like the customization, finding out what you like comes in. Perfume is no longer about the prepackaged goods in a department store. It's more, you go out there and you find out, not just like, oh, I like this brand name, but maybe you find out, oh, I really like this kind of ingredient. I really like this sandalwood. I really like this tuberose, and then you kind of build it out from there.
I think you mentioned sandalwood. I just want to cut in quickly. A lot of sandalwood is there in our part of the world
Yes,
in terms of scent.
it's not only a lot, but the best, the most highly prized. It's actually.
So is that Asian? Is that from our part of the world?
Yeah, it's completely from India.
Yeah.
I do have some Australian sandalwood. It's cheaper, but it doesn't perform in the same way as Indian sandalwood in my perfumes, and I look for it,
So who buys more? This might surprise us. Males or females?
It's about 60% female, but men are also, buying perfumes.
Yeah, but don't
now.
forget, a lot of the females buy for the men. So you're actually pretty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like my wife buys the aftershaves and for me.
Right.
My good friend Kunal, whose gender is always fluid, also buys stuff for me. So it's very often the male doesn't represent himself,
Right.
but does have a voice.
Right.
They know what he likes. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they just buy anything.
Yeah. And
So I'm wondering if more males use perfume
I
than
think
females.
I think they do. It's a very easy way to, it's a low cost way. It can be a low cost way to just have some personality. You don't need a full outfit change or a dye color that you're tied into.
I think it's one of the nicest things. It's like when someone says you've lost weight or you're looking good or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the nicest things you hear in society is when someone looks at just says, you're smelling good, or you're smelling nice.
Yeah.
You get that. It's just a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
I noticed you didn't say that when I walked in.
Yeah, I haven't given you a perfume yet.
Good answer. Good answer. Spot on. All right. Before we wind up, there's one thing we were discussing, which I thought you were making fun, but I think it's true offline, is that the big guns in the business, because it's all about the scent.
Right.
So just like Maradona's legs or Ronaldo's or Messi's legs or feet have to be insured.
Right.
Or we were discussing a famous female actress we won't mention. You have to, the parts are important, right? Because that's everything.
Right.
So you were saying that there are people who are at the apex of the scent business, whose noses have to be insured because of their
the noses have to be
heightened
insured.
ability.
Yeah. I mean, this is our primary chemical sensor. We have all of these machines, but nothing really comes close to
Human reaction.
The human sense of smell.
Yeah.
We are trying, but whether it's good, whether it's not, we can think of your nose. You have 400 piano keys in your nose. Okay.
Wow.
Every time a smell goes up, these bunch of keys are being hit. All right. So, and you really wouldn't want to, what good is a piano if half your keys are broken?
Hang in there, we'll add the music. Okay, done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the guy? Who's the person who's
I mean,
this person?
I think in the French industry, they call them le nez or the nose.
They literally call them the nose.
They literally call them the nose. That is the French way of, the name for my job.
I mean, this is really imaginative. Let's go with nose.
Nose. And that's what he is known for.
So you have a nose or you are the nose?
I am the nose. I use noses because
Do you trust other people's noses?
I know. Yeah, I do. It's it's just like cooking. Sometimes some people's vision is just different from yours, and you kind of appreciate that.
So beyond family and friends, would you trust a stranger?
Yeah, I trust lots of
feedback?
strangers. Yeah, I trust lots of strangers. And sometimes I put them on the stranger and I smell them because it's not just how it performs on me, but how it performs in different people.
Okay, so if I wanted a feel-good scent, because you mentioned the psychological aspect of all this and how it's all tied together, and there's just the top of the thing is the scent, but you want everything to work harmoniously. So if I wanted to feel good, lots of people, honestly, instead of having a drink or something else to make them feel anxiety go down, feel better about themselves, is that an option?
Yeah, then you need to kind of look at like, hey, what makes you happy? I mean, think of the time. Maybe you are happiest when you're having breakfast and coffee, like you have some hints there. Maybe you like them when you're having desserts. Maybe when you're out in nature, right? When you get the green smell. So you kind of like look for that and try and put elements of that in your
I'm
scent.
happiest when Mumbai is empty on a Sunday. There's nobody around.
And what does it smell like,
Just the lovely lack of humanity. It's a
Humanity.
lovely smell, best smell
So
ever.
I'm going to go with nature. Okay?
Hey, we say natur and fetur.
Right,
Please pronounce it properly.
Or like the smell of rain. Like right before it rains, maybe that's when
That
you
I
like
love.
Yeah, that is actually a chemical.
love that.
It's geosamin. It's a chemical that actually comes from the upper part of India. We get some of the best. The smell of rain, we bottled it.
Lovely. You have?
But yeah, I have it. But the thing about the the sense of rain, is that we are very sensitive to it. Meaning that
it tells you.
it tells you. But if I use too much, that will smell like a wet basement. So
This is the
tiny
imminent
bit.
rain about to fall smell,
Yes.
where the change happens a few seconds in the rain falls.
Yes, that smell.
And I've noticed like with the dogs, they get it first.
Yes.
Then they go in because they don't like the rain.
Yeah.
This is no thunder, just
Yeah.
rain. And then but I've always got it. Maybe I'm a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually a chemical. Maybe you want a bit of that chemical.
I love
in you.
that smell.
Yeah, a tiny bit of it give you that freshness, that wetness. You're out in nature.
Yeah.
That
It
kind
is.
of
It is
stuff.
exactly that.
Yeah.
You suddenly feel there's a little fear factor. You suddenly feel there's a change that's going to happen. Wow, I've learned a lot today.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling better about myself. One free perfume won't help, but whatever. We'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
But before we say bye completely, which is the best-selling product?
I like a perfume here called Tobacco Sea. That has been something that I've been using for a while. It's like way over there.
Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah, that's been
So
one
I
of my favorites.
presume the name is the scent?
Yeah, it's got like tobacco notes and it's got oceanic, salty, you're at the beach, bergamot note. So it kind of puts me on a nice white beach with a refreshing drink in the hand kind of mood. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my favorites right now.
Yeah. Notice the Douglas Adams book as we enter and the old typewriter.
Yes.
Just to segue away from perfumes for a second.
Yeah.
Are you a huge fan?
Yes. The address of the shop is 42 Arab Street. That's one of the reasons why I moved here. Mm-hmm. Just like the number 42, this was going to be the answer to life, the universe, and everything for me. So the book is there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. And the old typewriter?
And the old typewriter is an old iPad keyboard. The iPads have changed, so the connectors don't work anymore. But the typewriter is still here.
No, I feel sad. You're telling me, because this sense memory class you've just given us, which is connected to the scent, like the imminent rain coming in, I can immediately feel all these things. And when you understand what the person is saying, just the creating of that scene changes everything. You can smell it. You can actually smell the moment. So I'm thinking of when I was a young boy, the old typewriter, my aunt, she was a journalist, so she had that. Yeah. And Thursday evening, I would be there and I would listen
Can you smell the paper?
I can.
Can you smell the ink?
I can.
There you go.
That's why I brought it up.
That's your happy place, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not happy place, but the nostalgia is
the nostalgia.
very strong.
Yeah, that's because scent and memory, where you process scent in your brain, is right next to where you store long-term memory. So when you ping the scent, you're actually pinging the long-term memory areas in your brain.
If you could bottle the scent, a holistic scent for Singapore, mixture of scents, what would that be? What would be the Singapore perfume.
That's a really tough one because Singapore really doesn't have a lot of nature. What we have is the Southeast Asian old nature, but I think of steel and glass, but there's also this really rich parts like the Gardens by the Bay. Even in the city, you find these trees. So there is that juxtaposition of the modern, the new, and the old. You go to Little India and it smells like spices. I could be in India, right? You go to like Chinatown, it's a whole different smell. So it's definitely a very urban, modern smell. It's more theoretical than, it would be a strange smell for me.
And you couldn't have one dominating because obviously it's a mixture of all these.
Yeah.
Does it work in the scent world to have, as we have a blueprint of humanity, we must all live together, kumbaya, my lord, hold hands?
But sometimes when I think if you put everything together, then you get one thing, right?
Yeah.
I like to have one thing be stronger, let's say on the modern elements, one thing be stronger on the nature elements.
Metaphorically an anti-woke answer, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to have one lead player, but we haven't decided on who.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
We'll get back to you with that answer. Yeah. It's pending, but it's a fair question. There's one more thing. What about candles and all these other diversified products?
The thing about perfumery is once you get that initial smell, then everything else is open to you. You can make candles from it. If you want your own shampoo, if you want your own, floor cleaner, so you can have your...
But will they have the same scent?
It'll be slightly different, but we will...
Lesser version, right?
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah, lesser version. Yeah, but we get the initial smell nailed down first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, listen, this has been great. Thank you so much,
good. Yeah.
Johari.
Yeah.
Lots of fun, and all we have left to do
is make you smell better.
Okay.